Seeking answers to age-old questions. Deciphering the world painted around you by the mainstream media. This is the Kev Baker Show. And now, here is your host, Kev Baker.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back, everyone, to a very windy broadcast of the Kev Baker Show right here in Glasgow. I'm Kev Baker. Can you hear it, folks? Can you hear it? It's not Storm Fred like I was telling you last night. No, Storm Frank and 120 mile per hour winds are banging in as we speak. So if we go off air tonight, look out your window. You'll probably see myself and Johnny Whistles flying by. So then, tonight is Tuesday night, and that is, of course, Nano Night. It's the last Nano Night of the year. So tonight we're going to be taking a nanoscopic look back and look forward at future trends as well as we round up the year with our sister, the Nano Girl. And of course, I'm joined tonight by my good friend and co-host in the weather-battered Glasgow, Johnny Whistles. You okay, man? Are you still there?
Yeah, Kev. Here in Glasgow. Yeah, Kev. It's going crazy out there. So,
Johnny, was that your audition for CNN weatherman?
Yeah. Was it any good, Kev?
Oh, it sounded perfect, man. It really did. And that other voice you heard laughing in the background, the man himself. You know, this is the slot. The guy who we took this slot from, and it's still an honour to be able to say that, because he has changed the channel over on YouTube, and that is, of course, our friend, Mr. Kenneth Webb. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. My internet's down, like I told y'all. I'm just glad y'all let me sit in on this one because I wanted to hear the show, but my internet is just totally whacked. I can't get anything except for Facebook. And I've tried everything. And as I was on Facebook, I tried Skype. And Skype came up. I was like, oh, okay, I got to see what's going on because I know something's going on and I want to hear the show. So thank you guys because I know it's Nano Night. And I want to say hi to all the people in the chat room. Sorry, I can't be over there. Y'all know I'll be over there listening with you guys. But I wanted to hear the show. So thanks for letting me sit in.
Oh, Ken, it's a pleasure. But it's a strange day because, like Ken says, internet problems. I seen Real Joe Wood tweeting out that she's having problems getting into chat as well. Johnny Whistles was informing me solar flares are hitting the earth. Today, InfoWars even got hacked. Fake stories going up. Paul Joseph Watson's Twitter gets taken down. David Knight, his email gets hacked as well. What is going on? Johnny, before we get to the Nano Girl, want you to head over to the Batcave and give them their shout out, man.
Thanks very much, Kev. I'm over in the Wookiee Cave just now, Kev, and there's 36 people in the chat just now.
Did I say Batcave?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm away to
must have been watching a film.
I'm going to hit myself with a stick.
Anyway, Kev, we'll start off with Angie Marie, and we'll get Bill Demarest, who just posted a picture of you.
I was just going to say I look like
Ken's body.
I was going to say I look like Change the Channel's love child.
You never know.
Neither does my man.
We've got, after Bill, we'll get Carol, we'll get Caroline, Chrissy, we've got Christopher, Daryl, Devlin, we've got Do Wanna Know, we've got Elvis, we've got Jeff Vanes, so that's a new name, we've got Jeremy Trott, John Teeter, we've got Ken, we've got Kenny, Kev Baker, Lichty Lass, I think it will be going crazy down where you are as well. We've got Lucky Man, Lynn, Mark, we've got Matthew, we've got Nancy Lalonde, and up Free World, how you doing, buddy? We've got Papa Bear, you get your shout out today, mate. We've got the Real Joe Wood, we've got Reese Bevan, Regular Girl, how you doing, pal? We've got Revolution Scott, that's another new name in there, thanks very much. We've got Sam, Sharon, we've got Star the Oracle, the one and only, and we've got Tamer, we've got TFR Wookie, Tim Osman, Time Lord, last but not least, Kev, 42, Mr. Transpersonals.
Absolutely fantastic. And you know, it's Tuesday night, so I know for a fact I know none of these people are tuned in to hear me tonight. And in amidst Hillary laughing at us there, let me bring on to the show our good friend, our sister, Nano Girl. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Happy almost New Year. 2016 is right around the corner.
I know, where does the time go, Nano? I mean, I know we laugh and we joke about how time condenses when we're on KBS, fastest hour and all that. But is it just because we're getting older, time's going quicker?
No, I think I don't know
You
about
just think
older.
about that one there, didn't you?
I can't go down that road, but yeah, it's maybe it's just because we're having just so much fun. Don't you think that's a big part of it, Kev?
Oh, it definitely is. And, you know, we have our most fun, I think, right here on a Tuesday night with you. You are the woman that comes along and we talk about all the future tech, some breakaway civilization. And tonight I'm looking forward to hearing what was the main stories that really resonated with you in 2015. But more importantly, what is going to be happening in 2016 from a Nano Girl's point of view. So, Nano Girl, I don't know where you would like to start tonight. I'm just going to hand it to you.
Okay, because I didn't fill you in this today, did I?
Too much fun before the show.
You did not know what's coming. First of all, I wanted to say a big, giant shout out to our wonderful singer, Mr. Whistles, who sang the Obama Blues, right, Johnny Whistles, on Friday?
Yeah, thanks very much, Nano.
Okay, I want a song on Nano Night sometime. Just so you know. And that show was really brilliant. We were talking about that before the show. That Hypnotist was off the charts excellent. I was getting hypnotized listening to the show. It was so good.
Rod Scarth, he really was a great find, and he will be coming back early in the new year. I messaged Rod tonight, and he's very keen to get himself on KBS. And like you, Nano, at times when he was speaking, worryingly, I was going into a bit of a trance myself, and then tonight we find out Johnny Whistles was feeling the same way. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think what it says is what was the scary. Well, this is something else you and I were, all of us were talking about before the show. Is that's how powerful this is. Even though you think, oh, I can never be hypnotized. If somebody knows what they're doing, for some reason, the brain and probably again the frequency or whatever, they know how to tap into it, and bam. What did he say? 2 seconds?
2 seconds. And you know, the reason I was really, really excited when Chris informed me that Rod was coming on, I was hoping to relay the message to the listeners that really it's so easy for us to be manipulated. And I don't mean by the TV programs or the governments who have been studying this for years. Just bang, 2 seconds. We can be under somebody's influence. And that's so important today, especially when we're trying to replace a mainstream media who are hell-bent on forming that idea within the 2 seconds soundbite that they give us.
You know, and I think it's going to be eternal vigilance. I mean, I go back to that term a lot, right? Freedom is that in order to keep freedom, it requires eternal vigilance. I personally think in order to keep your sanity, that also requires eternal vigilance, that you need to figure out where you are probably every single day. I think people that meditate, that's really a good way to stay focused. But let's get started. So I'm not going to give any secrets away, but I went and saw Star Wars. I loved it. 2 thumbs up to J.J. Abrams. He knocked it out of the park again. I don't know how the guy does it, but he's so brilliant.
He's our favorite, isn't he, Nano?
He is our favorite. He's so good. He brought this. Oh, here's what the most inspiring thing about the movie, and I will not give anything away, is he took the idea, the original idea, and he replanted it for a whole new generation of people. Yes, I'm sure there's some things in there that people could say this belongs to, the powers that be and all that crap, but it doesn't matter. My friend said it so succinctly. He said, it was like something that was produced here that was clean and fresh.
Nano Girl, I can back you up 110% because Anne and my son, they went to see Star Wars on Christmas night or Boxing night. Yeah. And Kevin, I mean, he's too young to know the original Star Wars, and even the ones that
Exactly.
came out after, he was still a bit young. And we were going to get him, we're doing up his room right now, and he was
Right.
wanting Manchester United duvet cover. So we're getting ready to order one off Amazon, and goes in to check what one he wants. And no, scrap that. He wants Star Wars. The wee guy is looking upwards and outwards, and this has really opened his eyes to all the possibilities out there.
And I don't know why it did or why it does, but it does. And my favorite part of the movie, again, I will not say another word because I really appreciate everybody that did not give it away, that said anything. My favorite part of the entire movie was the last 2 minutes, and I'll leave it at that. I had chills, and I was thrilled, and I thought, this rocked. It just rocked. So anyway, that being said, so let's talk about last year, this year, and moving forward. I thought this show, we would focus on things that I think are coming, some positive things. Everybody knows all the dark stuff that's happening. I don't want to spend our time together today talking about that stuff. One other thing that I thought was very interesting, and I'm going to throw that out there as a metaphor for 2016. So there's all those wonderful commercials, you know, how you pay whatever it is to get in the theater and you get to sit there and watch commercials. I don't know if this played over in Scotland, you guys, but the commercial was the Microsoft people in New York walk over to all of them in their Christmas regalia, walk over to the Apple store and sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin With Me." It was such a positive commercial.
And that follows on from the Pepsi commercial where you have all the countries of the world coming together.
Yes. But this was better than that. This was better than that because this was about, that song has a lot of meaning to me. I learned it back in a time when I was finding out a lot about my spiritual beliefs. And so to me, this is a really kind of Christian spiritual song.
You know, we could take those two things, Nano. We could take space and this world peace, and they actually go together because we have to find another outlet for the military-industrial complex and all these corporations to make their profit. Let them go into space. Let them find new frontiers.
Yeah.
Let them move away from war here, and let us come together.
Well, and that's the metaphor for me. So I'm going to take two very powerful songs, and I'm going to and for the one for 2015, I'm going to use that song from The Wiz. "Don't Nobody Bring Me No Bad News." Now, you guys know I love that song. I love that song. It's my favorite song. I'm not a big Wiz fan, but I love that song because it's all about kind of a factory boss. I don't even know the story because I've never really sat through it. Who tells the workers, "Don't nobody bring me no bad news. In fact, if you don't got good news, you know, and you need to work," and she's kind of a slave driver. And it's just a metaphor for business. And then you have this fabulous positive commercial. "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me." And I think that's kind of the message that I know we've all tried to share with each other this last year. And I personally think as we go into 2016, people have said, "What can I do? What can I do?" Well, you let it begin with you. And even if you get a group together, like they get the Microsoft people, I mean, Kev, it was such a positive commercial. It took me a couple minutes to figure out what were they trying to communicate. You know, it was just over the top. I thought it was brilliant. I guess Microsoft removed the word God. That's okay. I'll take it. At least they were singing peace. So anyway.
Well, I want to seize upon your metaphor for 2016, and I would love to see that because how often do I derail you, Nano, and come along and sprinkle darkness on your shows, but not tonight. Because I think after the year that's just gone, as we approach this new year, it's all about intent. And even if we can try and will this next year to be better than the one that has gone by, can it do any harm even if it does nothing? I don't think so. We have to be positive, Nano. And I love this idea of everyone coming together. And they always say that the darkest hour is before the dawn. And you know, things have been dark this year. So let's hope that next year is that dawn. But not their golden age, Nano, ours.
Well, I personally think it's going to be. I think it's, in fact, one of the guests on one of your shows this weekend talked about that. And I am sorry I did not get the name, but he was talking about how things are going to speed up, and that this will affect the powers that be too. They don't own the speed of this. They don't own the whole essence of where we're all headed. They don't own it. They think they do. They act like they do. They don't. And so anyway, let's go through kind of some of the things I think that might be coming our way. I just grabbed a bunch of predictions and things that I feel strongly that are probably going to happen. Hopefully some things that people are going to be looking forward to. So I do believe that this is going to be another year of disruptive business models, smart companies, Internet of Things. We're going to have more robotics, more sensors, more beacons. I think the way we work with each other is going to continue to change. Hopefully people will be able to work more at home if they want. And yeah, some people will lose their jobs as the robots kind of get more and more involved in our everyday life. So reading some of the stuff came from the Gardner Group too, and some of the other research giants out there. One of the things they talked about was the big mergers that I guess Time Warner Cable will likely be bought out by Comcast, which will be sold to AT&T. Now we've seen this kind of stuff before, but I think we're going to continue to see some of that stuff. Here's a couple of other things I thought was very interesting. That virtual reality is going to come more and more out there, and people are going to have access to it. I guess Samsung actually put it on their phone. Has anybody seen that out there?
I've not seen it in person, but there's a technology program on Sky News called Swipe, and that is the exact technology they were showing this week, Nano. So yeah, I have seen that. And being a gamer myself, I've been a gamer most of my life. I'm really keen to try all these new bits of tech, augmented reality as well. Oh, the future's bright, Nano.
Yes. Another prediction. By 2018, 20% of business content will be authored by machines. Technologies with the ability to proactively assemble and deliver information through automated composition machines are fostering a movement from human to machine-generated business content. I found that pretty fascinating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if you guys thought about that. I know machines are doing more and more, but I just didn't think of it that way. I thought that was pretty interesting. By 2018, 6 billion connected things will be requesting support. So as we start to have all the internets of things talk to each other, they're going to start to need each other to exist.
I'm going to open a data farm. I can see a big future in data farming. Where do they put all the data that they collate on us, Nano?
It's going to be in everything, right?
Exactly. And I mean, you're right. You're the first person I'd ever heard talking about sensors and beacons. And I was reading through, I think it was Wired or New Scientist, and one of their major trends for 2016, bang, sensors and beacons. Now, this all ties back into what you're talking about, this Internet of Things. And I'm just wondering, where on hell does all this data go to?
Well, okay, and that's another big question, isn't it? How are they still collecting the data? The fact that they have to have the data, that the fact that they think they deserve the data.
Does it just feed Jade 2?
Oh, God. Jade 5, Jade 6, Jade 20. I don't know.
Jade X.
Yeah. Jade X. Yeah. Jade X.
Let's bring in Ken Webb here, because you were just talking about the data there, Ken. What do you think of this Internet of Things? All these terabytes of data that they're going to be storing on all of us. What's that all about, man?
Imagine everything that they've stored so far, even just, going back in time from the hard copies of things from our parents, our grandparents, and building big databases just off of going from, the hard copies to the digital age and storing all of that information that they had before and then going into the digital age and everything they've collected. Just imagine exactly where does this stuff go? I mean, they have to have some big, huge. I mean, it's got to be huge. Just imagine the size of the thing of all the data of everything. I mean, everything from what we buy, what we say, what we post, what we did, what our parents done, what our grandparents done, where we come from, our whole, what is it? Genealogy? Is that what it's called? Genealogy? Yeah, the whole genealogy of of the people of today. I mean, just imagine all of that information. It's scary, and it's getting crazier too. The things that they collect. I mean, like you go to an internet site and whatever you have looked at before through the history of looking on the internet, they will advertise to you. I mean, it's getting crazy too. They're gonna be able to tell exactly what you do for the day, what you're gonna do tomorrow, what you're gonna do next week. It's insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think what's going on too is that's what they're working on, is figuring out how to parse the data out so that it helps them, because they feel like, okay, we can do a better job. I'm not defending them, by the way, but they feel like we can do a better job of servicing you and providing you what you want, and of course sell you more stuff if we understand you more. And, all the conferences I go to, when I go to conferences here in the Silicon Valley, that's always what I hear. What are you thinking, Mr. Whistles?
I'm just thinking how fast the memory and things are going, because my first computer was a ZX81 and it cost me £80 for a 16K RAM pack. 16K.
Johnny, did you have to plug in the audio player and have it right at the right levels to play the
Oh yeah, you had to have that, or, do you know what I mean? Or you had to get the screwdriver out and start turning it, and you had to learn about azimuth, and oh my God. But now Kev, at that time, I mean, the word terabyte probably wasn't even used yet, and yet we're getting that now on our computers.
No, a terabyte was an injury that a pterodactyl inflicted on somebody, Johnny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look at this.
You know what I mean? It is really fast, though.
But we're not even talking about bits and memory anymore, Johnny. We're moving into the age of qubits and quantum computing.
Yeah. So you can imagine how memory will work as well then, Kevs, because that must be condensed into absolutely nothing.
Well, I've seen research out there. They're looking into using things like crystals and even water for memory nano. And you're over in Silicon Valley. You'll need to do more digging about on that.
Absolutely. But let's go to the next one because we have a lot. By 2018, more than 3 million workers globally will be supervised by a robo-boss. I had to get this out there because I know that this will make Kev's 2016 perfect.
Down in London right now, they've got robo-guards. They literally have robots that are doing the same job that I'm doing in Glasgow. And this is why 5-10 years down the line, we were talking about Childhood's End Nano and Utopia, when there would be no need to work and things like that. And with these robots coming along, well, the security industry, for one, that's going to leave a lot of people out of work.
Yeah, I know. Here's another statistic. By 2018, 45% of the fastest growing companies will have fewer employees than instances of smart machines. Whoa! Interesting. But I think that somewhere along the line, even though we don't see it, I do think somehow this stuff is going to also create jobs. I'm not sure how.
I do, because that's what I was saying to Johnny. I mean, likes of Scotland here. Yeah. We should be trying to get ahead of the curve. We should be maybe making the data farms, looking at robotics, cybernetics, all this kind of bio-cybernetics as well that's coming about. We need to be looking at the future and trying to get ahead of it.
Absolutely. Now, another interesting statistic, I found this one really interesting for those of us who use digital assistants. By the year end 2018, customer digital assistant will recognize individuals by face and voice across channels and partners. That's amazing. And we're talking 2 years.
Holy.
I mean, I really think when it, like I said, going back to that guest, he said that this 2016 is going to be 2015 on steroids. And I do think that more and more things are going to change the way we see them. Like you said, I mean, go back to Star Wars. You have a whole generation that's going to look at this even though we think that's going to look at the same way we did, they're going to look at it and love it, but they may love it for all the different reasons than we did.
And what's even better, they won't have to put up with that useless shuttle program that we had to grow up with. They've got the likes of Elon Musk and his rockets that take off and land again. Game-changing kind of stuff, Nano.
Absolutely. And the fact that they have most of the tech in their hands. You know, when I was in high school, they didn't have, this was something we were looking at Star Trek. We have all that. And you've got the head of G-Wave telling us, yeah, we're going to go to another universe, parallel universe, and grab the goodies. Woohoo!
Absolutely. And all at a time when NASA and Elon Musk are talking about physically going and colonizing Mars. I don't know what's going to happen in 2016, listeners, but one thing's for sure, there's going to be plenty for us to cover. So there's going to be lots more Kev Baker shows, that is for sure. Now stay tuned, there's the music, and I've got a surprise for all of you coming up right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
I'll stand tall in the face of tyranny. I want it all my freedom and liberty. I'll keep my guns, you can keep your security. I'll stand tall in the face of tyranny. I'll stand tall in the face of tyranny. I want it all my freedom and liberty. I'll keep my guns, you can keep your security. I'll stand tall in the face of tyranny.
Welcome back to all you Wookiees who are tuned in live this 29th of December. This is Kev Baker of The Kev Baker Show, and tonight I'm joined by Johnny Whistles, Mr. Kenneth Webb, and the one and only NanoGirl. Now, before the break, I promised you a little surprise. Well, tonight, I wrapped up work for 2015. I don't go back to next year. And then I find out that Mr. Kenneth Webb, he's jumping on over onto Popeye's show. So I thought, hey, let's do it. Why don't we just hijack Popeye's show? So myself, Johnny, Ken, and Nano for a short while will be going on to Popeye's right after this. 3 hours of truth right here on the Truth Frequency Radio Network. And, you know, we don't get to hang out often enough with Mr. Popeye, do we, Whistles? And Mr. Whistles...
No, just mute button, Kev.
It's okay
Everything's going
because
slow,
you
man.
are my Johnny King. I learned... I'm used to this with listening to Joe and Johnny, and I love it.
Oh, sorry, mate. Having Ken on as well, Kev. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, looking forward to that.
No, it's going to be brilliant stuff, and I've just informed during the break there that all planes in Belfast, they're grounded. The storm is rolling over Ireland right now. I can hear it battering into my windows. See what I'm talking about, guys? Sound effects and everything right here on the Kev Baker Show. But we are live for the time being. And NanoGirl, you were absolutely brilliant there in that first half. A lot to think about, especially on that robotic kind of stuff. And the data question, that's got the chat room talking as well. But I'd love to hand it right back to you, and we'll get into it.
Okay. Speaking of Elon Musk, who we all love, he says Tesla is 2 years away from fully self-driving. And I know Google's right behind, or may make it out the door before that, because they've been already driving all over the road. And as you remember, all the accidents are our fault. Also, Apple. And then also his SpaceX returns, pulled off a dramatic rocket landing. And the guy's amazing, isn't he?
Well, Nano, before I run to the toilet, I just wanted to throw this out there. A lot of people hate these billionaires because they see them as the problem, but some of them could be the answer as well. And I think Elon Musk, when you look at some of the projects and the endeavors that he's embarked on, I think, dare I say it, he's one of my good guys anyway.
Well, let me tell you, if Russia's going to go to the moon, then we got to count on Elon Musk to get us to Mars, because that's his big plan, right? He's already talking about building a colony on Mars. We got to do something. I don't think NASA's going to do anything. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not seeing NASA. I call it never a successful assignment. You know, I'm kind of mad at them. They're going to have to redeem themselves, to me, as far as I'm concerned. I'm pretty mad with what's going on with that whole thing. So let's keep going. This was kind of an interesting statistic out here that we're seeing for 2016, and this is where some of the healthcare stuff. So retail care goes mainstream with 35% expansion of in-store clinic footprint, which, I was thinking about our good friends at Theranos, who, by the way, is having a very hard time getting her blood testing kit out there. She's run into a lot of problems. But, I could see that where you could go into Walgreens or something like that, and get your testing kits or Whole Foods or wherever you go and you get your vitamins, you get your healthy eating, you get out there and start to do preventative stuff. And I think actually that's something that also is going to be coming towards us. And the statistics on that is free preventative care services available to over 90% in the U.S. So to mitigate the costs of the care burden of the late-stage chronic diseases, everyone from payers, employers, and the government will be offering a wide range of technology and wellness-enabled preventative services. That's big stuff, guys, because in the past, that's not something they've done. Go for it, Mr. Whistles.
Well, Nano, if I'm going to pay for Obamacare, I want my money's worth. You know what I mean?
Well, that's if you could pay for Obamacare. Statistics on that is like, what was it? I saw 10% of people's incomes is going to Obamacare. Oh, wow. 10%. I know you guys have health care over there, right? That's not something, it's part of your taxes.
Yeah, it's called national insurance.
Well, that's basically what Obamacare is, only we're paying cash.
Yeah.
And you guys have heard my sob stories over it. I mean, I think it's an abomination myself, but, that and Common Core, I still think are two major fails for Obama. And with any luck, now by next year and the year after, people are going to see the fines for not joining a healthcare program are going to triple, quadruple. It's going to be pretty bad. The other thing that I'm seeing in the way of doctors and hospitals is I think that more and more of us are going to be accessing doctors real time on our devices.
And
right?
Nano, I've even seen an article about how we'll be spending hospital time at home. We'll basically be linked up to the medical professionals in a hospital, and they'll tell our people looking after us exactly what conditions to keep us in the room, what temperature, how much fluids to give us, and it will be that hospital experience in our own homes. That's definitely a game changer as well.
Yep, I think it is. I think it is. Now, here's a very feel-good story where the doctors use the cardboard virtual reality tech to save a baby's life. Do you remember, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I showed you Google's virtual reality. They look like the old-fashioned 3D glasses where you put them on your eyes. Do you remember that?
Nano, not only do I remember that, but this was the one kind of real feel-good story I had for tonight as well. I've got it on my tab here. Tell us more about this, because this is absolutely brilliant.
The doctors gave the little girl very little hope. I guess she had trouble, like her lungs and her heart.
What had happened was her heart had actually fallen into one of her chest cavities, and it had stopped her lung from forming, and there was really little hope. But this hospital, and I think it's Nicholas Hospital or Nicklaus Hospital.
Yes, Nicholas Children's Hospital.
Amazing. Yep. And I mean, I looked at the actual surgeon as well. He won one of the surgeons of the year in 2013 because he really is trying to change the game when it comes to not only the procedures that he carries out, but keeping the parents informed of what's going on as well. They can use 3D printers now. And it might sound like nothing to us, but if you've got a child who is facing a heart operation, I mean, you want to know what's going on. Well, now they can actually literally bring out a printed model of the heart they're going to operate on and show the parents in detail exactly what they're going to do. And that in itself, this is brilliant kind of technology, Nano. This is what we should be working on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is what we always see in shows that we think are so awesome, right? They have these tables where you get to see everybody's bodies. They show you a holographic view of this.
Star Trek style.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where we should be, for God's sakes, right? I mean, shouldn't we
Yeah.
be there already? I think we
have
should.
Nano.
the clinics
Exactly.
out of V where you can just walk in and they scan you and they repair you there and then. That's where we should be right now.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I thought that was a very heartwarming story. Okay.
We want
so-
more of that in 2016, definitely.
We sure do. And then I had some other things that I thought were very interesting. These were a little bit more political. This comes from Mike Adams from the Health Ranger. People might be familiar with him. Anyway, so he gave 29 reasons why what he thinks is going to be game changers this year. And I just thought I'd go over some of 29 positive trends he sees right now. And like I said, as far as I'm concerned, in order for me to even face 2016, I got to feel like that's where we're moving. If we're moving forward, we're not going backwards. Okay, number one, massive uprising against the political establishment. Amen, baby. And starting with the Donald Trump riding the wave. I read today that Bill Clinton's history with women and his inappropriate behavior and alleged rapes could bring her down. Oh, please tell me it is so.
And Trump has got the gun loaded. This is the word coming out of Alex Jones. And Alex Jones recently had him on the show, so he has spoke to him. And the inside kind of word is that is what he's waiting to do. Unleash all the dirt on the Clintons. I tell you, he better hire a personal army to keep him safe after that.
I think he better. It's looking more and more like he really is his own guy. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, but no matter what happens, he has changed the game forever because Jeb Bush can't untweet those tweets. And he sounded like a complete moron. And Hillary doesn't know how to tweet. And so, I mean, none of these guys, I mean, in fact, if she actually had a contender against her that knew social media, they would be eating her lunch on the Democratic side, right? I don't know. Okay, number two, backlash against GMOs accelerates. Chipotle has gone non-GMO, and Russia bans GMO agriculture, and more foods are getting labeled as non-GMO. And I think even though the powers that be are against all this, I still think that we're kind of fighting them as in a pretty good way, in my opinion. I mean, we're not anywhere where we need to be. Unfortunately, Monsanto's still here. But you know what? At least if other huge countries go get this stuff out of here, that's good news for us.
Monwho? We don't do Monsanto in Scotland and Europe, Johnny, do we?
No, we don't, Kev. We don't do Monsanto.
Having said that, if you go to the local hardware store, B&Q, where I work, there is plenty of Monsanto Roundup available, John, and that worries me because we've all heard about the dangers of that particular pesticide.
Kev, I think we're immune to it now anyway.
Probably. Well, you've heard the cough I've had. I must have been breathing some in.
Yeah, it's crazy, but no, it's good that we ban GMOs like most of Europe has now. I think only the USA is probably the biggest user of GMOs that is probably going just now. Russia's already banned them as well.
Definitely, and Frankenfood Nano and the whole Franken issue with so many things getting tweaked and altered right now, that's a dangerous trend that we need to really curb. It can be used for good, obviously, but we need to watch that.
I think we're going to be we're going to have to go after everything. We're going to have to go after the air we breathe, the water we drink, the land we're living on, all of it, right? We go forward. Okay, next one, accelerating rejection of the mainstream media as leftist agendas are no longer hidden from the public. Yay! And the rise of alternative news. I think nobody could deny the fact that people are leaving those cable shows in the dust because people are sick of lying. I mean, I think if Trump stood for any one thing, he says it like it is. You may not agree with it. You may think it's rude. You may hate him, but he just says what he wants to say.
And I like the fact that he's got enough money that he doesn't need to sell out to any of these people behind the curtain. He can run his own campaign himself. He doesn't need any of these outside influences that are financing the usual establishment pair that end up running for it, Nano.
Yeah, I know.
Not saying he's a good guy. Don't get me wrong out there.
No,
You all know
no.
I'm apolitical, but that
Right.
alone, that's different. That's a different kind of basis for anyone to come from, because usually they're either Republican or Democrat, and you know they've got to be one of the club if they're put at the front of that, Nano. So fingers crossed.
Well, if he doesn't do anything but get rid of Jeb Bush, I think we should give him the Peace Prize. Don't you? I do. Okay,
And the
the
IRS.
rise.
And the IRS, I like that stand on the IRS here, too.
Well, Ken, what's your
Yes,
take on the Trumpster?
yes.
Because we know Nano's take. What's your take on the Trumpster?
Well, I like a lot of stuff that he says, and I disagree with some of the stuff he says, It's like any of them, but he is not really a politician. So, but he's like a businessman. So it's kind of a little difference in him as opposed to the other ones. And as far as I do have some things that I absolutely disagree, but a lot of the things, some of the things, if he actually got in there and he is legit, like I said, I would be worried that he's going to get shot for doing some of those things that he says he's going to do. If he's totally against the establishment the way he is, I think something will happen, because I don't believe that the turds that are going to allow that to happen, and unless some way that he is compromised or something like that. Like, I like the IRS thing, the whole changing of the tax and making IRS smaller and, those kinds of things. I don't agree with his stance on medicinal marijuana. And, there's a lot of things. But I will say, it's just like Nano was saying, there is one thing. He is absolutely different than the other candidates that we've seen. He's what was it? Ross Perot paid for his own?
Yeah.
Or who was it?
Yeah,
but
it was Ross Perot, yeah.
Right,
Well,
but-
he was another rich guy.
Mm-hmm. And
Yep.
and the thing about him, Trump is though he is we're sounding like all the political analysts are saying he's really touching base with what a lot of people are tired of. They're tired of the same old crap politicians who have the lobbyists and who have all the donors that they have to sit there and get the calls from. Oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. This guy gave you money, these people gave you money, and all of that stuff. So I do. If nothing else, I will say about Trump, I really love that he's shaking it up.
I think the way that the media are portraying him as an absolute idiot, it's a lot of people are actually listening to that nonsense. RT did a survey in New York, and they were asking people who was the most hated person in 2015, and probably 7 out of 8 people said Donald Trump. Incredible. The most hated person in 2015, Donald Trump.
Absolutely. You know what, Johnny Whistles? You inspire me. Just off the phone to Alaska. And I would love all of you to fund my presidential campaign. If a Kenyan can get into the White House, why can't a mad Scottish guy? So if you go to gofundme.com/Baker Palin 2016, you can put me and Sarah in the White House. How's that sound, Nano?
I'll vote for you, Kev. I'll vote for you.
Hey, if
Kev.
a Kenyan
But I
guy
think
can
if
do
you're gonna have, you should get Nano. It's
Hey,
a
there we
VP
go.
there.
And we could
Yep.
have iPhones and iPens, Nano.
I'm not going to get anywhere near that Palin person. Forget it.
Okay, right,
And that's why Kev brought that up.
We'll let you in charge of like Halliburton and Raytheon and
Okay.
all them.
How about you,
can be in
put
charge
me
of
in
them.
charge of NASA, and I bet you something would actually get done.
Oh, yes, you would be my NASA chick.
Oh man. Okay. I think we could actually get 2 or 3 things done at least in a year.
Oh,
First thing I would like to see is that they actually leave their telescopes on. So if something's really good and there's something flying by, that they don't pretend like nothing happened in space. Stuff like that. Just little stuff like that.
well, it seems neck and neck between me and NanoGirl for president in 2016. Go figure, Nano.
No, you can be you can be the president. I'm going to go run NASA.
Right, I'll take that job. I've got the phone, I've got the pen. We're cool, man. And just think, Johnny, I'll be able to play you at golf 8 years from now. My handicap will be well down.
As long as I'm weed distributor, I'll be fine.
Absolutely.
You get to vacate in Hawaii every year and then go spend Easter and all your other holidays in Florida. You'll love it.
I'm going to have Ken is my marijuana czar, and Joe and Popeye on the wood chipper 24/7. There we go, folks. Nano Girl. Sorry for derailing you. Yet again.
That's okay.
At least it wasn't dark this time. Well, pale and arguably little dark.
That's okay. She's just a silly goose. All right, moving on. Who can see Russia from Alaska? Okay, so another point he brought up, which I thought was really interesting, was the increased awareness of crisis actors and false flag shootings. And he also brought up, without bringing the name of the author, it was Jim Fetzer, who got his Sandy Hook book banned by Amazon. They're not offering it to people who would like to read a book, which is sad to say over there. Bad Amazon.
Sandy Spook. That is one heck of a rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, but the fact is we're catching them faster and faster. People are actually saying, yeah, I saw 3 or 4 shooters. Yeah, it wasn't the ones they told us. Nope. We're catching on quicker and quicker. Somebody brought up a very good question. Was it on your show where they said, are they screwing up on purpose?
I've thought that for a long, long time, whether they leave.
Why?
Or even they could insert things and then we seize upon it and then they use it to make us look stupid. That's just one angle, but they can't be that stupid, can they, Ken?
I mean, look at the daggone Photoshop jobs the hack jobs they've done. Look at Osama bin Laden tapes. All of these things they've done, and you're sitting there going like, they have all the resources in the world, all of our money that we have to back them up and do these things. Like, what was it? The missing airplane that went out, they had the 2 people of interest and they cut the one guy's legs off and put it on the other guys, and they had the 2 people of interest, and you're sitting there looking at the 2 photos, and it's like, this guy's legs are on this guy's legs.
That
what
was
in
so
the world?
blatant. And then with the Charleston shooter with the Photoshop badges onto his jacket, it was so easy for anyone with basic Photoshop skills.
So it's got to be on purpose. This is not no whoops, we made a mistake and released this. It's like the old Bin Laden videos. It's like, this is not Bin Laden. There's no way that this guy's Bin Laden. It's all fuzzy and everything. It's like, there's no way, that this is the same guy, until they came up with just doing audio tapes instead of putting out the videos of them out to people and start going like, wait a minute. But it's got to be on purpose because, I know I've been doing Photoshop, video manipulation, and professionally I've been doing video photo manipulation since '93, so I can look at things and go like, no, there's no way that this thing is. It's like, I know they have better resources out there to do this, so what would be that reason for them? It's like y'all were just saying, maybe it is to put it out there so people will go like, like us, we'll catch it. And then we'll say something about it, and then they'll think, "Oh, these people are just crazy," and try to make it
birth certificate. Another great example.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe it is to. First of all, I've never, ever subscribed, and never will subscribe that they have to tell us what they do before they do it. I'm sorry, I can't go down that road. I don't know why, but I would say, what a great way to create havoc in the alternative groups, because we're the only ones that are going to probably catch this. You're going to have havoc within the alternative group, and then it creates havoc with our families. Because do we sound like nut jobs? We go, did you see this? Did you get that? Did you see what happened? Did you hear what these guys really said? Does anybody say that to regular people out there? Heck no, you don't. You sound like a weirdo. So why not do a crappy job?
The Sandy Hook thing, like, I don't know if you guys saw that, but I seen as it went. I always look at information as it comes out, no matter how long after something happens, like we all do. And I seen a real estate site where they had all of the properties around there that were sold for $0 to these people all around there. It was December 24th, as a matter of fact. It was the most craziest thing I've ever seen, and I couldn't debunk it myself. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, wow, did those all people get free homes, their homes paid for, around there, all of these certain things, and it sounds crazy, absolutely sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, no, there it is. It's right in front of our face, and I think that it's put out there, like you're saying, it's got to cause some kind of divide and craziness amongst people, because people are really not going to look at that and look deep as we do. The average person's not going to look, at some real estate site and look at these things and go into it without going, right off the bat, there's a line in the sand, or look at photos that are photoshopped, or always remember that, John Doe number 2. I mean, remember him? Where did he go? Where did he go from Oklahoma City bombing? Where did John Doe number 2, and all of these things and all of these people? The guy in the orange suit with the underwear bomber who got him through without a passport or a visa or anything, or plane boarding pass onto the plane. What happens to all of these people? And anytime you bring it up, they always think you're crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I think if you start with JFK, right, which was on TV, and then you just fast forward to where we are, 9/11, Vietnam War, all of it, all it does is create havoc and chaos in your own life. You are constantly questioning yourself. You're constantly having to say, am I crazy? It's very alienating, because you feel like, and I'm speaking for myself here, you feel like you're living two realities. The one that is really happening, and the one that you have to sort of live in, work in, breathe in, because that's just how society is. And that's crazy making. So again, I don't think they have to tell us anything. They're just doing their deal. So that's kind of how I see it.
That sounds about right, Nano. Now, Ken, quickly before the end of the show, Popeye might be a bit busy. He's got family stuff happening. Do you think me, you, and Whistles can go on to Pops and run that show?
I'm down, brother. If you
I'm down for it. Let's do it. Nano Girl, you take us out. I'm going to let Popeye know to go and deal with his family business.
Okay, so basically, I was shocked. Okay, so to sum it up, I think that if we look at what Obama has planned for us in 2016, he's going to pounce on the guns, which I think is going to alienate a lot of us even more. I heard that the IRS is going to go to private collection companies to collect money. Now, one of the promises the government made, yes, I know they never keep their promises, is that our information...
Music, Nano.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Love everyone, and let's kick 2016 in the butt.
And Nano will be on right after the break for 15 minutes with you. So people, wherever you are, keep it TFR.
It's going to be eternal vigilance. I mean, I go back to that term a lot, right? Freedom is that in order to keep freedom, it requires eternal vigilance. I personally think in order to keep your sanity, that also requires eternal vigilance, that you need to figure out where you are probably every single day. I think people that meditate, that's really a good way to stay focused. But let's get started. So I'm not going to give any secrets away, but I went and saw Star Wars. I loved it. 2 thumbs up to J.J. Abrams. He knocked it out of the park again. I don't know how the guy does it, but he's so brilliant.
He's our favorite, isn't he, Nano?
He is our favorite. He's so good. He brought this. Oh, here's what the most inspiring thing about the movie, and I will not give anything away, is he took the idea, the original idea, and he replanted it for a whole new generation of people. Yes, I'm sure there's some things in there that people could say this belongs to, the powers that be and all that crap, but it doesn't matter. My friend said it so succinctly. He said, it was like something that was produced here that was clean and fresh.
Nano Girl, I can back you up 110% because Anne and my son, they went to see Star Wars on Christmas night or Boxing night. Yeah. And Kevin, he's too young to know the original Star Wars. And even the ones that came out after, he was still a bit young. and we were going to get him. We're doing up his room right now, and he was
Right.
wanting Manchester United duvet cover. So we're getting ready to order one off Amazon, and goes in to check what one he wants. And no, scrap that. He wants Star Wars. The wee guy is looking upwards and outwards, and this has really opened his eyes to all the possibilities out there.
And I don't know why it did or why it does.
Seeking answers to age-old questions. Deciphering the world painted around you by the mainstream media. This is the Kev Baker Show. And now, here is your host, Kev Baker.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back, everyone, to a very windy broadcast of the Kev Baker Show right here in Glasgow. I'm Kev Baker. Can you hear it, folks? Can you hear it? It's not Storm Fred like I was telling you last night. No, Storm Frank and 120 mile per hour winds are banging in as we speak. So if we go off air tonight, look out your window. You'll probably see myself and Johnny Whistles flying by. So then, tonight is Tuesday night, and that is, of course, Nano Night. It's the last Nano Night of the year. So tonight we're going to be taking a nanoscopic look back and look forward at future trends as well as we round up the year with our sister, the Nano Girl. And of course, I'm joined tonight by my good friend and co-host in the weather-battered Glasgow, Johnny Whistles. You okay, man? Are you still there?
Yeah, Kev. Here in Glasgow. Yeah, Kev. It's going crazy out there. So,
Johnny, was that your
we
audition
may-
for CNN weatherman?
Yeah, was it any good, Kev?
Oh, it sounded perfect, man. It really did. And that other voice you heard laughing in the background, the man himself. You know, this is the slot, the guy who we took this slot from, and it's still an honour to be able to say that, because he has changed the channel over on YouTube. And that is, of course, our friend, Mr. Kenneth Webb. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
We've got Matthew. We've got Nancy Lalonde at Up Free World. How you doing, buddy? We've got Papa Bear. You get your shout out today, mate. We've got the real Joe Wood. We've got Reese Bevan. Regular Girl. How you doing, pal? We've got Revolution Scott. That's another new name in there. Thanks very much. We've got Sam, Sharon. We've got Star the Oracle, the one and only. And we've got Tamer. We've got TFR Rookie, Tim Osman, Time Lord. Last but not least, Kev, 42, Mr. Transpersonals.
Absolutely fantastic. And you know, it's Tuesday night, so I know for a fact. I know none of these people are tuned in to hear me tonight. And in amidst Hillary laughing at us there, let me bring on to the show our good friend, our sister, Nano Girl. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Happy almost New Year. 2016 is right around the corner.
I know, where does the time go, Nano? I mean, I know we laugh and we joke about how time condenses when we're on KBS, fastest hour and all that. But is it just because we're getting older, time's going quicker?
No, I think I don't know
You had
about
to think
older.
about that one there, didn't you?
I can't go down that road. But yeah, it's maybe it's just because we're having just so much fun. Don't you think that's a big part of it, Kev?
Oh, it definitely is. And, you know, we have our most fun, I think, right here on a Tuesday night with you. You are the woman that comes along and we talk about all the future tech, some breakaway civilization. And tonight I'm looking forward to hearing what was the main stories that really resonated with you in 2015. But more importantly, what is going to be happening in 2016 from a Nano Girl's point of view. So, Nano Girl, I don't know where you would like to start tonight. I'm just going to hand it to you.
Okay, because I didn't fill you in this today, did I?
Too much fun before the show.
You did not know what's coming. First of all, I wanted to say a big, giant shout out to our wonderful singer, Mr. Whistles, who sang the Obama Blues, right, Johnny Whistles, on Friday?
Yeah, thanks very much, Nano.
Okay, I want a song on Nano Night sometime. Just so you know. And that show was really brilliant. We were talking about that before the show. That hypnotist was off the charts excellent. I was getting hypnotized listening to the show. It was so good.
Rod Scarth, he really was a great find, and he will be coming back early in the new year. I messaged Rod tonight, and he's very keen to get himself on KBS. And like you, Nano, at times when he was speaking, worryingly, I was going into a bit of a trance myself, and then tonight we find out Johnny Whistles was feeling the same way. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think what it says is what was the scary. Like, this is something else you and I were, all of us were talking about before the show. Is that's how powerful this is. Even though you think, oh, I can never be hypnotized. If somebody knows what they're doing, for some reason, the brain and probably again the frequency or whatever, they know how to tap into it, and bam. What did he say? 2 seconds?
2 seconds. And the reason I was really, really excited when Chris informed me that Rod was coming on, I was hoping to relay the message to the listeners that really it's so easy for us to be manipulated. And I don't mean by the TV programs or the governments who have been studying this for years. Just bang, 2 seconds. We can be under somebody's influence. And that's so important today, especially when we're trying to replace a mainstream media who are hell-bent on forming that idea within the 2 seconds soundbite that they give us.
And I think it's...
My internet's down, like I told y'all. I'm just glad y'all let me sit in on this one because I wanted to hear the show. But my internet is just totally whacked. I can't get anything except for Facebook. And I've tried everything. And as I was on Facebook, I tried Skype. And Skype came up. I was like, oh, okay, I got to see what's going on because I know something's going on and I want to hear the show. So thank you guys because I know it's Nano Night. And I want to say hi to all the people in the chat room. Sorry, I can't be over there. Y'all know I'll be over there listening with you guys. But I wanted to hear the show. So thanks for letting me sit in.
Oh, Ken, it's a pleasure. But it's a strange day because, like Ken says, internet problems. I seen Real Joe Wood tweeting out that she's having problems getting into chat as well. Johnny Whistles was informing me solar flares are hitting the earth. Today, InfoWars even got hacked. Fake stories going up. Paul Joseph Watson's Twitter gets taken down. David Knight, his email gets hacked as well. What is going on? Johnny, before we get to the Nano Girl, want you to head over to the Batcave and give them their shout out, man.
Thanks very much, Kev. I'm over in the Wookiee Cave just now, Kev, and there's 36 people in the chat just now.
Did I say Batcave?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm away to
must have been watching a film.
I'm going to hit myself with a stick.
Anyway, Kev, we'll start off with Angie Marie, and we'll get Bill Demarest, who just posted a picture of you.
I was just going to say I look
with
like
Ken's body.
I was going to say I look like Change the Channel's love child.
You never know.
Neither does my man.
We've got, after Bill, we'll get Carol, we'll get Caroline, Chrissy, we'll get Christopher, Daryl, Devlin, we've got Do Wanna Know, we've got Elvis, we've got Jeff Vanes, so that's a new name, we've got Jeremy Trott, John Teeter, we've got Ken, we've got Kenny, Kev Baker, Lichty Lass, I think it will be going crazy down where you are as well. We've got Lucky Man, Lynn, Mark,